Okay, so our golden rule is to keep your pricing page simple. But sometimes pricing can be more complicated than having bucketed tiers and a list of features. And if you do want a template of the basic building blocks and foundation of a great B2B SaaS pricing page, we have another resource you can check out. But here we've compiled a gallery of unique pricing page components that you could potentially apply to your website. Let's jump into it. Okay, so these are 11 components that make these pricing pages unique. So we formatted this resource to be the name of the component, and then you can see we have a problem and then solution. Now, the reason for that being is because they didn't come up with these components just for fun. They had a problem with how they wanted to lay out their SaaS pricing page, and then they came up with these components as solutions to do so. Okay, so the first one here is from a past client of ours actually called Shipfare. So the problem they faced was each pricing package purely depended upon the quantitative data they had. So for them, that was the amount of shipments that each customer is doing a month. So we customized this pricing tier. So the interactiveness would be, you'd be sliding it and then it would highlight which package is best for you based on how many shipments you're actually doing a month. So this component would actually work for a bunch of different SaaS pricing pages that have different packages purely depending on a number amount. So moving on here to the right, we have product tabs. So this is if you have two separate products that have their own separate pricing and their own packages within that pricing. So instead of them having 8 different pricing tiers, they've created these product tabs where you can easily toggle between the different products. Okay, so the next one is very simple, but this is something that can get missed a lot. So if you offer special pricing to a specific business type. So this is an example from Whelp. They offer special pricing for startups and enterprises. Now, I'm sure the enterprise pricing isn't so special, but the startup pricing probably is special. But these are great components to have regardless. Okay, so this is one from an example we use a lot from Chili Piper. So Chili Piper here puts on a masterclass of being transparent with their pricing. They've actually put in a calculator. So this is below the pricing tiers on their pricing page. So if you scroll down a bit more and you want to figure out the exact amount you're going to be paying a month for the many different products they offer, you can go through here and say, I want concierge. I have 1,000 monthly submissions a month. I have 5 users. And then you can go into their different products and fill out that info and then just get a very transparent idea about how much you're actually going to be paying a month. So this is not something you see very often on pricing pages where they are just so transparent with the pricing. You're going to get an exact number with all the different metrics that you have, all the different products you want. This is just a really cool example. Okay, this next one is business type pricing tabs. So the problem that you can face here is your pricing variable upon business type. So this is very similar functionality to the product tabs we saw earlier, but this is just tabbed out. So you can click on the different tabs depending on your business type. Now, this is a section I'd recommend most SaaS companies have. This is a software comparison section. This is very basic. It's not getting into depth. It's not talking about specific competitors. You can do that on other pages, but just the overall features that you have and that your competitors don't. This is a great way to outline those in a very simple way that doesn't take up a lot of room on your pricing page. Okay, this is the quantitative dropdown from junip.co. So this is if you already have specific pricing tiers with features in those pricing tiers that would break them up into different packages. But then within those packages, you have different quantitative data that would then change the pricing in that package with those specific features. So you can see here that you can do this drop down. So you click on the number of orders that you do a month and you can customize it to your needs. But let's say you need to go the pro version because you need these extra features and you also need 10,000 orders. Okay, so this is probably the most simple one we have, but something you don't see a lot, just kind of adding a little more flair to your pricing page. And that is done by just adding some illustrations, some kind of graphic into your actual pricing tiers. So not much more to it than that. Okay, so this is for the international companies, or if you're selling in a country that there's multiple language speakers, this is very common. So this is a multilingual drop down. So this is usually something that's site-wide, but if you want to have it, just on your pricing page, that's great too. So you can see here that this is a drop down. You can click on it and then it would open up a bunch of different languages that you can select yours and have that translation right away. Okay, so this is what we're calling the same features section. So basically this is, you can see that all plans have the exact same features and the only variation is the amount of page views that a user would have per month that would actually change the pricing. So very straightforward, but just definitely a unique way to lay something out like this. Okay, and last but not least, this is probably one of the most important ones that should probably be included on every pricing page, are info hovers. So as you can see, you can hover over the specific features and then get more information about what do you actually mean by data security. And then you have, just a quick sentence here that goes into depth about that. So this is very useful to keep things very brief in your pricing tiers, but then also allow for a bunch of additional information to kind of be hidden there and access when needed. Okay, so those are the 11 unique pricing page components. So if you want more content like this, subscribe to our newsletter where we're going to be putting out a lot more content.